Hello everyone, with the launch of Opensim Fest this weekend at the Open Simulator Community Conference, I wanted to make a short video to help potential exhibitors make up their mind about whether or not to take part in the Opensim Fest. In this video I'll explain some of the guidelines for the exhibitors, but first let's get the bad news out of the way so we can move on to the good stuff. As with Avatar Fest, which Opensim Fest builds on, we will not be promoting any commercial aspects of Opensim as this is a user community festival, celebrating the creative diversity that we have in Opensim across the many grids and regions. With that said, let me give you a couple of examples of how with creative thinking almost anything can be an exhibit at Opensim Fest, and the more people that can take part the better as far as we are concerned. First, a few general guidelines for all exhibitors. 1. The entry must be on Opensim and on the Hypergrid. 2. No overt covert promotional boards with pricing on it on the region. As this is a showcase of building, please build the bulk of your exhibit yourself, and if you use existing content from your regions, only use content that you know where it came from. Questionable content does not reflect well on the Open Simulator community and the creativity of this community. We do not want to promote or endorse this type of content, and we appreciate your understanding, but this is non-negotiable. 4. You can either exhibit a region, a project, a club, an idea, a group, or community. For example, you may run a role-playing group. You can express that through a themed exhibit. Use information boards to provide information about the role-play, the players, your progress so far, and any other information. 5. Or you can take the Phoenix Rising theme of this year's festival and then build your exhibit around that theme. Think community rather than commercial. The aim is to celebrate and showcase the community of Open Simulator rather than be a merchant fair, so please keep that in mind when planning and building your exhibit. If you're unsure, email me or contact Bill to discuss it, and the emails will follow. Include landmarks, event posters or resources, but please no prices anywhere on the main region. To discuss your exhibit, you can email either me, aka Leighton, at leighton@opensimfest.org, or Bill Blight at bill@opensimfest.org, or use the contact form on the website at https://opensimfest.org. As some of you may have noticed from those guidelines that we are retaining the no commercial aspect of Avatar Fest, as our focus is on the community festival, not a merchant's fair. However, with some creative thinking, commercial is not necessarily excluded. Let me give you some examples of how to creatively think about your exhibits. 1. You're an author. You could create a scene or scenario from your book using the Open Simulator building tools to introduce your character or story. Then in your exhibit description or in-world profile, have links to current works, but please no direct selling or links to bookshops or Amazon directly. 2. You're a content creator. You could use your mesh scripting skills to create something that showcases your work, but don't attach a price to it. 3. You're a grid owner. Ask or work with some of your community to create something that reflects and represents your grid and community on your plot. And 4. You're a service provider. Ask some of your users to put something together that represents how they use your services to build a community. Testimonials are okay, but again, no service information, promotional material or price listing to be included. As you can see from the examples, that with a little bit of thinking, commercial and non-commercial, as I think both have a place in Open Simulator, can be represented here. What we don't want, however, is for the region to turn into a sea of price tags and adverts. Think community, not commercial. With the commercial element in the room addressed, let me give you some examples of potential exhibits to get that creativity flowing. Now let's think about some of the other ways that Open Simulator community members can take part as exhibitors. Role-playing group. Create a plot based on your latest story and ask some of your role players if they are willing to write some information boards about their characters and the story you role play. Artists. Use your plot to showcase your artwork. Create info boards that explains how you use OpenSim to show your work, map out ideas, etc. Educators. Take a few of your virtual world learning activities and create a small slice of the larger experience, and provide boards and landmarks to the region where the larger educational experience is on Opensim. Blender or creator groups. Get together with all the members of the group and make a build for Opensim Fest, using boards with comments from members about what and how they are learning in Blender for Opensim, and invite others to join your group. Bloggers. This one is interesting to me as I will be creating a plot for my Hypergrid Traveller blog and hope to create a vignette design that highlights some of the places I have been to with links to my blog. Community groups. This could be anything as long as it's in Opensim and accessible to the Hypergrid. Make your plot reflect the aims of the group and then use information boards to invite others to join you. If after hearing all of that you decide that you would like to take part as an exhibitor, please visit the Opensim Fest region, and the Hypergrid address is opensimfest.com and the address will be on the screen. On the region, take a look at the available plots, select the one you would like and then email me at layton@opensimfest.org, the address will be on the screen, and provide the following information. 1. Your name or avatar name. 2. Email address for keeping in contact with you. 3. A potential title for your exhibit or a brief outline of your proposed build so that we can get started. 4. Your plot number. And 5. Your Discord username. We're using Discord to communicate with contributors. On the Opensim Fest website, you will see a contributors page with a list of all the available plots. As the plots get booked, the numbers will be removed until none remain, meaning it is full. The region is open to the public until the 4th of January 2019 and then will be closed with only exhibitors being given access to the build to build their plots. Then public access will be restored at the opening ceremony on March 1st, 2019. Thank you for your interest and hope this video has addressed some of your questions and you will take part as an exhibitor. Below in the description box you will find some useful links and a link to the script for this video. We look forward to hearing from you and welcome aboard.